Human beings are remarkably adaptable creatures. We learn new languages, new customs, and new ways of living. We move across oceans and somehow turn unfamiliar places into ordinary Tuesdays. But adaptation comes with an interesting question. If we change enough to belong somewhere new, what parts of ourselves remain the same? I've been thinking about that question a lot lately. Hi, my name is Kimberly. I'm a mom from the Philippines, currently living in Osaka, Japan. I'm married to a Japanese husband, and this is our son, Kenry. In this video, it's just me and Kenry at home because my husband was on a business trip. We have weekends like this every now and then. My current life in Japan is peaceful in the most unexpected ways. It wasn't always this way. And honestly, I'm probably just as surprised by that as some of you might be. In many ways, I'm living a life that my younger self would have dreamed about. I started making YouTube videos as a hobby, partly to organize the thousands of baby videos I had accumulated over the years, and partly because I wanted a creative outlet. What began as a simple way to preserve memories slowly became a place where I could tell stories. So here's one of them. I've loved Japanese culture for as long as I can remember. Anime, Japanese food, J-pop, Japanese dramas. Long before I moved here, Japan already occupied a small corner of my imagination. So, living here felt a little like a dream. And in many ways, it has been. But dreams don't exempt us from life's challenges. For me, the biggest one was language. It took years before I felt confident enough to navigate my life entirely in Japanese. Motherhood, especially, requires communication. Doctor visits, paperwork, conversations that matter. Unexpected situations that don't come with subtitles. Even now, after more than 8 years in Japan, I still struggle with kanji, and I still misunderstand people sometimes, especially when Kansai-ben, Owari-ben, or other regional dialects enter the conversation. The Japanese we learn in textbooks is neat and predictable. Real life is not. People speak quickly, they shorten words, they use local expressions you've never heard before. And sometimes, you leave a conversation understanding only about 70% of what happened. Still, over time, my Japanese became enough. Enough to build friendships, enough to navigate the medical system, enough to build a life, enough to feel at home. Language wasn't the only thing I had to learn. Living in another country also means learning different social expectations, different ways of communicating, and different cultural assumptions. Most of the time, those differences are small, but over the years, they've quietly shaped the way I see the world. And then there is Kenry. Becoming his mother has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life. As it turns out, God wasn't quite finished adding plot points to my story. Kenry is on the autism spectrum. He was diagnosed when he was around 2 years old. And that has certainly made motherhood more challenging than I originally expected. But it has also helped me grow in ways I never thought possible. Through Kenry, I was introduced to a different way of seeing the world, a world of neurodiversity. It taught me that people can experience communication, learning, emotions, and even everyday life in very different ways. And while that has changed how I understand him as a child, it has also changed how I understand people. And perhaps more unexpectedly, it gave me new ways of understanding myself, my strengths, my fears, my limitations, my capacity to grow. When I was younger, I imagined that living in Japan would feel like arriving at a destination, as though one day everything would finally make sense. But life doesn't really work that way. Even inside our dreams, we remain human. There are still challenges, still misunderstandings, still ordinary Tuesdays, and somehow, I find that comforting. Because I've realized that a meaningful life isn't necessarily the easiest one. It's the life that feels most authentically yours. For a long time, I thought my story was about adapting to Japan, learning the language, understanding the culture, building a life far from where I started. But looking back, I don't think coming to Japan changed who I was. If anything, it helped me become more myself. Moving to Japan was difficult. Becoming a mother was difficult. Raising Kenry has brought challenges I never expected. But all of those choices came from something that felt deeply true to me. And perhaps that's why this feels like one of the most peaceful chapters of my life. Not because everything is easy, but because the life I'm living feels aligned with who I am. So, what is life like as a foreign mom in Japan? It's peaceful, complicated, meaningful, and surprisingly ordinary. Thank you for spending part of your day with me and Kenry. We'll see you in the next one.